Today we're taking a look at the Be Quiet Silent Loop 3 420mm water cooler. Thanks to Be Quiet for sending this one over for us to take a look at. Finally, Be Quiet released their very own 420mm all-in-one water cooler, featuring 3 of the Silent Wings 4th Gen 140mm PWM fans. I'm super excited that Be Quiet released this. Definitely been looking forward to it. As far as the fans go on this cooler, the fan blades are uniquely shaped for performance while maintaining low noise levels. Each fan can spin as low as 300 RPM and all the way up to 1900 RPM for maximum airflow of about 78 CFM while maintaining roughly 2.36 millimeters to H2O worth of static pressure. Most of the sound for an AIO does come from the fans after all, so this is definitely nice to see. More of a quality of life feature, but these fans do have 500mm long cables, which is really helpful for making it to your fan hub on the backside of your case, or routing these cables and actually making it to the motherboard fan headers. In my opinion, these are some premium fans. For this generation of the Silent Loop 3, the pump block housing is quite big. Be Quiet says they redesigned the pump block housing to actually support almost double the amount of fin area on top of the block, which is pretty interesting to me as far as squeezing out as much performance as you possibly can with the typical components of an AIO. I definitely like to see innovation on the standard design. The Silent Loop 3 also crucially features a refill port. All AIOs will have some liquid evaporate over time, especially if you tend to keep them for your first and second build. That's basically just how the physics of AIOs work, but if you buy a really high quality one, like this one, it really should have a refill or service port, so I'm very glad to see that Be Quiet is including this directly on the radiator. You'll be able to unscrew that and top off with the included pre-mixed solution that Be Quiet ships with the cooler. I don't know of any other brands that are actually doing this. This is definitely a differentiating feature in my opinion, as well as a value add. And of course, most importantly, the pump block combo does have an RGB element, so that's probably adding between 1 to 6 million extra FPS in your favorite game. Seriously though, I do like the RGB implementation on this AIO. As soon as I fired it up, I thought the brightness and color accuracy right out of the box was pretty much perfect. It really looked nice in the Be Quiet case that I have set up for my test rig. As for the specs, we did talk about the fans a bit. As far as the pump goes, it can range from 1700 RPM all the way up to 3500 RPM. It's PWM controlled, and it does use a 3-pin RGB header. The water cooler as a whole is rated for 19.4 dBA at 50% fan speeds, 29.3 dBA at 75% fan speeds, and about 34 to 35 dBA at 100%. That's definitely some awesome performance at a seriously low level of noise output. As I've built a whole lot of systems, I've really come to appreciate that. Of course though, this is a massive cooler. You really need to check compatibility before you smash that add to cart button. The radiator is about 475mm long, 140mm wide, and 52mm deep, and it's weighing in at about 2 kilograms or about 4.4 pounds. This system is obviously designed to absorb and move quite a bit of heat from a CPU. For my test system, I only have a Ryzen 7 9700X. That's an 8-core, 16-thread CPU, and while this cooler is plenty, even with the fans and the pump spinning at lower speeds, I did want to try to max it out a little bit. Because of that, I did enable the 105 watt TDP mode, Precision Boost Overdrive with the 200 plus MHz offset, and I set the max scaler to 10x. These settings combined will take the relatively efficient 9700X, which consumes not a lot of power, and it'll make it consume a ton of extra power and toss off quite a bit of extra heat. For this test, I did want to test Cinebench R23 over the course of 30 minutes again, but I actually set the pump and the fan speed down to 60% locked speeds. I want to see what kind of performance I can get with a really low noise floor. Of course, this is a synthetic test load, but it's replicable every time I run the test. I noted the average temperatures and clock speed in the last couple of minutes of testing. The CPU cores averaged about 78C across all of them, and the average all-core clock speed was about 5.1 gigahertz. As for the average sound output for the entire system, measured with my Android phone about 3 feet away from the PC, I was looking at about 31 dBA worth of sound, which is really nice and super quiet in my opinion. I did want to get an idea of 100% fan speed though, so I cranked them all the way up, and that did increase the sound output to about 41 to 42 dBA, and it got me about an extra 100 megahertz across all of the cores on average. So the all-core average was about 5.2 gigahertz at 74C. Definitely a really nice improvement to gain clock speed and lower the CPU temperature at the same time, but the trade-off is of course sound. Even though this cooler is definitely meant for higher core count CPUs, if you're overclocking, you can definitely get quite a bit of benefit out of a 420mm rad like I just demonstrated. This was kind of a quick and dirty overclock, but if you're really into tuning your system and you'd still want to maintain some kind of performance normalized to a decent sound output, the Silent Loop 3 420mm rad is definitely going to be a cooler that you want to keep in mind. As for the build quality, the Silent Loop 3 420mm rad, the whole package, the rad, the tubing, the pump, the fans, even the screws and the accessories, I really think it's quite solid. You can definitely tell this is a quality unit, and I don't think that you'll be disappointed once you get this in your hands and you actually install it in your system. Right now the cooler's running about $150 on Amazon, and to be honest, I think that's a solid deal for what you're getting. I know I'll definitely be switching over to the Silent Loop 3 for future CPU testing. If you're interested in picking up one of these coolers for your system, I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below, so definitely head down there and check that out. I definitely appreciate it. If you got anything out of this video, if you could smash that like button, as that tells YouTube to share this with other gamers when they're researching coolers. If you're into gaming PC and component videos like this one, consider getting subscribed to the channel and ringing that bell for notifications. Until next time, keep on gaming.